Greetings everyone, Lights and Gear is back with another video, and I have recently acquired one of the new lights from Imalent. This is the DM21C, and on the back you have some information here on this particular light. This has the 2000 lumens as the max output, beam distance 366, it's impact resistant to 1.5 meters, and waterproof submersible to 2 meters. And this has an XHP35 LED, which produces a pretty nice, actually this is a 35 high LED, high intensity, so you'll get a little bit more of a focused beam out of this particular light. So they have the they have the box here, which is kind of like a box in a box. So I'll slide the outer sleeve portion off. And here you have the actual box, which has a magnetic enclosure here on the end. So fold that up, and here are the compartments inside. This one actually has the flashlight in it. Here's the instruction manual. Flashlight is right here. On this side we have the accessory package, and I'll just show you this first. And as you pop this open, you can take out the holster, Velcro of course, and inside the holster are the other accessories. This little packet here includes the USB charging cable, which is proprietary to this particular light, and this is magnetic right here, this portion, so everything sticks to that, but obviously here's your other USB end, which goes into your power source, and this attaches to the flashlight. This is the same system that they used on a previous Imalent light, which was the LD10. I also have a review of that one as well. Elsewhere inside the package here is a spare O-ring, and here's a regular lanyard. Oh, there's also another O-ring inside the bag. And what was originally in the bag, which is now attached to the flashlight, is a pocket clip. So that would have also been in there as well. Let me leave this out for them now, or I'll put it back here. Here's the flashlight. It's kind of unassuming looking, but it looks the same no matter how you turn it around, except for the pocket clip right here, which I put on it. Here is the head. It has a smooth reflector, and your XHP35 HI LED, of course, is right down in there. So elsewhere on the light you just see a little bit of knurling here, some sort of crenellated design, not really crenellated, but here it has the illustration of which way the battery goes in. This is your OLED display, so we haven't touched upon that yet, but we will. So it has an OLED, as they call it, display right here. Here are your switches on the bottom. This is the mode, and this is the power switch. And on the other side, there's the name, so you know that's what it is. And right here are your connectors for the USB, and those connect pretty much this way. This is magnetic, and it sticks like that, and it pretty much has to go this way, not this way, or else you won't make a proper connection with these little posts here. It's got to be straight right on there and locked tight on those little posts to actually make a connection. So that's how that works. And as soon as you plug this into your source and the battery is in the light, you'll get a little display in here with little bars going up to indicate that it's charging. If you want to see a picture of that, you can visit my written review at lightsandgear.com. Now they also give you the battery which it uses, which is an 18650. They give you their own branded battery, the 3000 mAh Imalent 18650. This is their recommended power source. You can use other 18650s, but you may have an issue with the cap connecting properly over them and actually allowing the light to work. This is kind of finicky, this light, as far as which type of battery it uses, and whether it's a millimeter or two longer or smaller. It will not take any flat top batteries, none whatsoever, because most are unprotected and they're just a little bit too short and it'll rattle around inside the light. So it's got to be of this length, and it can't be much longer than this or else it won't make contact. So I think that's why they give you the battery, is they want you to use their battery. But you know, you can play around with other batteries if you want. There are a couple of issues associated with this light in various ways in which it operates. I'm not going to go into detail about what those are on this video. I suggest that you visit my written review at lightsandgear.com, and you can read all about the little idiosyncrasies of it that I have found in using it myself. So I would visit my written review where you'll get the lowdown on all that. So here's the battery, goes in like that with the positive side up. Usually they would be this way in most lights, but this is the opposite. And here's the tail cap. So slip that on, and as soon as you've got it on tightly enough, you'll get the display here lighting up. If you do not get a display, then you'll have to untwist it, loosen it, and then tighten it up again. That's just one of the little idiosyncrasies of it. So you may have to do this 2 or 3 times, always watching the display to make sure, there it goes, it just connected. So, and it only stays on for a second, so if you're not paying attention, it's off. So that's why you have to turn it on, that's why you have to twist it on and make sure you're looking at the display at the same time. If you have it facing the opposite way, you'll have no idea if it's made contact or not. And if you press the button and it doesn't work, then you don't, you just don't know. It's better if you're looking at the display, then you can see that it's made contact. Anyway, so here are the 2 switches. Obviously, to turn it on, you press the one switch there, and to turn it off, press that switch again. Here is the mode switch. The other thing you can, now let me back up a bit. So I turn the light on like this. To change the modes, I have to press the mode button. So once I've turned it on, I can then press the mode button, and it will go through all the modes. And when I'm going through the modes, it only goes low, medium, and high. It has a couple of hidden modes on it, which it will not do under regular sequencing. So now that I'm talking about that, let me just look or go through the manual here briefly to describe what I'm talking about. Here's your turbo mode at 2000 lumens, and high is 1400, medium is 600, then it has medium low at 200, low at 20, and that's it. It also does, it actually has strobe, but it doesn't list the output of strobe. So the regular modes you get during your sequence is middle, low, medium, and high. Low and turbo are both hidden. So when you first turn it on, it does have mode memory, of course, so it will recall the last mode. But when you turn it on, you'll get the display in here. There's your 200 lumens right there with the middle low, and there's your voltage of the battery at 387, etc. So there's your battery voltage. If I press the switch on the back, it will increase. There's 600, there's 1400. So there are your modes right there, 200, 600, and 1400. Now if I wanted to get to turbo, I would have to double click the power switch like I would have to double click the power switch like that. Now it says 2000. So there's the turbo from double clicking the power switch. If I want the low mode, it has to be off, basically, I believe. Let me try it when it's on. The power switch has to be clicked 3 times in order to get the low mode. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it did do that. So there's 20 lumens on the low. And again, the power switch has to be tapped 3 times to get to the lowest mode, and that's 20 lumens. And 20 lumens is pretty bright even on its own, especially with this beam. Let me turn this light off. Actually, I can also show you, since I have it on right here at the moment, it has a ramping feature. So in addition to going through the modes like I was just doing, you can also ramp up and down. And to do that, you press and hold the mode switch like this. Press and hold it, and it'll start ramping. And the way you can tell that it's ramping, of course, is the display will be counting, just like that. See, getting hot right now. Oh, let's reach the top. Press it again, and it starts to go down. So now we're at 690 lumens at the moment. And it just keeps going in the same direction until it reaches the other limit, and then it'll start going back up again. The head here is actually quite warm, even though it's only putting out 240 lumens at the moment. So as I press it, it keeps going down, and there it's reached the limit at 200. And then if I press it again, it'll start to ramp back up again. But anyway, and then of course you can go back to doing it the other way if you want. All you have to do is press this instead of holding it. Just give it a press, and then it'll revert back to 200 from there. So let's take a look at the beam here. Right now we are on the 200, and if you can make it out at all, this is a rather focused beam. It's not so terribly muted or floody like some other lights are. It's got a very definitive center, a definitively focused center. So this is the middle low right now. So again, if I press that paddle on the bottom, and I will tell you, it is a little difficult sometimes to find the paddle in the dark, I hate to say. It can be a little bit of a challenge. So here's the paddle. So here's the 600, and here's the 1400. Now I can try double clicking at this point to get to turbo, to get to the 2000. I can try double clicking. Okay, it just bumped up. So I'm at 2000 right now. I better turn it off though for the moment, and then turn it back on, and then it'll be at 1400 when I turn it back on. One thing about the modes, there really is not a big difference between high and turbo. There really isn't. So when you're outside, you won't really notice that much of a bump between high and turbo. And the thing is, turbo is only supposed to stay on for a couple of minutes, actually only 1 minute, and then it's supposed to bump down. So it has that automatic step down. It has it both on turbo and high. But I would say that if you're outside and you need something really bright, you can easily use high, and it's almost as bright as turbo. Now to get strobe, you actually have to be in the turbo mode. So I would have to be in turbo and then double click it from turbo to get strobe. So as I was saying, finding the buttons in the dark can be a little bit challenging, but if you're not holding something in your other hand, it can be a little bit easier. Another thing it also allows you to do is check the battery voltage at any time, which is nice. And to do that, all you do is press and hold the power switch, and you can be in the off position. So I can do that anytime. Just press and hold power, and it will for a few seconds. You have to press and hold it. If you just tap it once, the light will come on. But if you press and hold it, you'll get the power, you'll get the voltage readout for a few seconds, just like that. So that's kind of nice. At this time, I'd actually like to take the light outside and show you what you can see in the darkness of the night with it. So let's head out and do that now. It's kind of a nifty flashlight, and it does have some rather cool features. And there's a link below if you'd like to pick it up on Banggood. They were nice enough to send it to me to try out, and there's also a coupon code. So if you'd like to get it at Banggood and enter the coupon code, you'll save some bucks. As I say, the link to that is below, and it's also at my written review at lightsandgear.com. But the Imalent DM21C, as I say, is kind of cool. From the features and the OLED display and everything, it provides some very nice light and a few options perhaps that other lights aren't able to give. If you want to read a lot more detail about it, of course, visit my written review at lightsandgear.com. But that's it for today with the Imalent DM21C. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you'd like to leave questions or comments below, of course, we'll be happy to discuss the light in greater detail. But thanks for watching today. You take care, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.